Welcome to the Truth Serum Football with your hosts, Joey, Jeff, and Jordan. The guys who bring you fantasy football advice so good, when you win your league, it'll feel like you cheated.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Truth Serum.
Hell yeah, what's up, baby? We got a special guest with us today.
Hell yeah, we do. Travis Sumter, what is going on, brother?
Not much, man. How are you guys doing today?
Man, we knocking out our second podcast of the day. We're about to do a mock draft, super flex PPR. We got 10 teams. We got members of TSF following us. They're hopping in here as well. So we got a full lobby of real people.
Mock draft Monday, son.
Hell yeah.
We try to make this a theme. It's not always going to work out, but we will definitely try to do a mock draft for you guys on Mondays and get this bitch out. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start this draft. If you guys are ready, you ready?
Yeah, and real quick before we get started, I just want to thank all of the participants we got today. Obviously, we have Travis Sumter, Mavs Trav, welcome. We got Colt Martin, Mike Pineacker, Clayton Crawford, Ben Kaiser, Zach. Oh, no, not Zach Kurtz. Zach Kurtz bailed on us. We got Jeff Beavers, Steady Trevetti, Captain Kirk Davenport, and me and Joey. Let's get it on.
Okay, before we get started, we are going to be busy. Do you want to go ahead and thank them motherfucking Patreons, them Hall of Famers? It's as good as a time as any.
Yeah, that'd be a great time if I can figure out how to get out of your screen and into my screen.
Let's see if I can find it as well. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can, baby.
The whole screen?
Whole screen and nothing but the screen, so help me God.
All right, cool.
All right, let's thank them Hall of Fame Patreons. We got Brandon Rios, Cadillac, Kaysen, Dylon, Spitting Hot Fire, Meliska, Captain Kirk Davenport. Thanks for joining us today, Captain Kirk. We got James Miller, my favorite Blaha, Daniel Blaha. We got Jeff Wallace, Steady Trevetti. Thanks for joining us today, baby. My favorite Blaha, West Blaha, Patrick Johnson. That's with a capital T, ladies. We got Chris, how you say your name, Tax Benjamin, Clintorius B.I.G., Clint Collins, Matthew Tovar, Hall of Fame Robert Dawson, Mike Pineacker. Thanks for joining us today, baby. Jeff Beavers. Thanks for joining us today, baby. Brady Lavelle, Michael Truax, Josh Machino, Josh Hickman, Chris Leach, Dwight Kofroth, my mains man, Jeremy Maines, Ben Kaiser. Thanks for joining us today, baby. Tyler Tompkins, Colleen Kunkel. Got some Jeremy Powell and Big Dick Richard Travelstead. What's up, y'all? We love you.
Hell yeah, we do. That's beautiful. I love it when you do that. So now I will go ahead and start draft. Ben Kaiser has the first pick in this draft. Yeah, we're going to confirm it. Let's go. 2 minutes on the clock for each pick. That gives us plenty of fucking time to make our selections and talk through everything. Hopefully these guys kind of hurry up and make their picks. Oh, yeah. Ben Kaiser picks Saquon Barkley. What do you guys think about that?
He's the number one on my board. I love it. I get it if you want to go Christian McCaffrey, and it makes all the sense in the world. But Saquon's finishing number one this year.
Okay. CMC goes next. He is the consensus one across everyone's board. So that's kind of a no-brainer. You're
Easy.
Next. Who'd you get?
For me, baby, Ezekiel Elliott, man. Once Saquon and Christian McCaffrey are off the board, Zeke is the smash no-brainer pick for me.
Okay. And I am on the board, and I can't figure out how to fucking scroll. Oh, there we go. I'm looking right now. Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and lock in my number one running back and take Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara. Okay. I thought you might get cute and get some Patrick Mahomes there, but we'll see when he goes.
I thought about it, but this being a 10-teamer, the depth is there. So, Sumter, you're on the board. What are you thinking here?
I'm going straight for the smash pick.
Patrick Mahomes, not a bad choice.
Patty Melt. I like it.
Given it's super flex, you got to have the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally think with this being a 10-teamer, I feel a little bit more comfortable about the mid-range quarterbacks with this only being 10 teams. I do want to lock in that number one running back, and I think Alvin Kamara is going to kind of have a bounce back, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you can go wrong with any of the three guys we picked, and there's no way Pat Mahomes would have got past 1.8. So if you want him, you had to get him there, Trav, so I like it. Clayton Crawford with Dalvin Cook.
Okay, we got Michael Thomas coming off, Jeff Beavers getting him. What do you guys think about that? 1-7, to me, perfect time for that. I think it's time to start really looking at those quarterbacks at this point in the draft for me. I don't have an issue with Mahomes at 1.5, obviously, but
Okay. So Joe Mixon, Kenyon Drake go off the board, and then DeAndre Hopkins. Any surprises there, fellas?
I'm surprised that Joe Mixon went that high considering the holdout potential that he has. I would definitely have selected a quarterback in that range.
I'm surprised both of those guys went off the board before another quarterback or wide receiver. But then we have D-Hop, we have Derrick Henry, and we have – who is R.E. Belson? Rebel Son.
I don't know 100% sure.
I think that's Pine Actor.
Very possible. He selects Josh Jacobs. Nick Chubb goes next with Colton Martin at the 2.3. Jeff Beavers is back on the board. I think it's super cool we can share the screen at the same time. Hopefully the recording works as well. He does pick Devontae Adams. Travis, this is coming up to you. What are you thinking here? Like, what is your plan?
Right now, Miles Sanders falls to me. He's mine.
Okay.
Especially when PPR format.
We got Tyreek Hill, Miles Sanders, Austin Eckler are the top three available. This is PPR as well.
So assuming that Clayton Crawford goes homer here,
yep, there he goes.
Miles Sanders. Yeah, what you got, Travis?
So I'm gonna actually pivot here, and then I'm gonna go Julio Jones here.
All right, not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
That one hurt my heart because I was licking my lips on Julio at the end of round 2.
It is time for me to go ahead and select Lamar Jackson. It is way too late here in a super flex not to have him off of the board. It's kind of a no-brainer for me there.
So, go ahead.
Out of all the mocks that I've done, Superflex and that, and I've never seen Lamar come out of the first round, so it's just amazing value there.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, usually I like to double up on running backs. I'm looking. I don't love Eckler or Jones or Gurley, Edwards-Helaire. I think I can get one of those guys in the next round. So I'm going to get the alpha dog wide receiver 1. I'm going to get Tyreek Hill. I'll take Elliott and Tyreek Hill to start a draft all damn day, every day.
Yeah, okay. And it is after that, Chris Godwin goes. Ben Kaiser here at the turn gets 2 picks back to back. I'm really thinking about what's going to come back to me. But before that, why don't you go ahead and tell me your theory here, Jordan, because you picked before me.
So I obviously faded the running back in round 2. You know, I like to draft running back heavy. So I'm looking at some of these running backs here. So, you know, an Eckler, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, somebody like that. If the right receiver falls to me, I could see it like Mike Evans if he comes back around. You know, I love me some Mike Evans, some Odell Beckham Jr. He's a little bit farther on this draft board. So those are a couple of the guys I'm looking at. kind of interested in a quarterback like Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray. I love the upside of both of them, but I think I can wait on them a little bit longer, maybe for one more round.
The way this draft is trending, you might be able to, but it's kind of.
But then you and Travis are going to draft Murray and Dak back to back and just give it to me right there. So.
I assure you, they won't go past the 4th round for me. But I'm looking, and with this, like I said, man, it's 10 teams. So what I'm looking at, man, is the depth at the position isn't as scarce as it would be in a 12-teamer. So Kyler Murray does go off the board along with Austin Eckler to Ben Kaiser. What y'all think about that? I think he got a fucking steal, personally.
Oh, absolutely. I think him and Dak are both going to be steals at this point in the draft.
Kind of want to. There we go. All
Captain Kirk is on the clock.
So far, he has Christian McCaffrey and Chris Godwin. If I'm him, I'm staring down Dak Prescott. There's still a lot left, but it's also getting thin at the same time if you want those top tier guys.
Mike Evans. So I was taking a long look at Evans because I really like him. I don't really love Aaron Jones, as you guys probably know. I'm going to go against my conventional, typical draft strategy. Dak Prescott's not going to fall any farther.
Okay. Before I make my selection, what do you guys think about Kirk taking Godwin and Mike Evans together right there?
I don't love it.
I don't like it either. You don't want two of the same guys from the same team because it's going to limit your up weeks, that you're going to have. So you're not going to get those huge ceiling weeks out of both.
Yeah,
but in his defense, they both were, top 10 wide receivers last year. So, I mean, it could happen. They could do it again.
Okay, this is a PPR league. I'm looking down Aaron Jones, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Todd Gurley, George Kittle, Kenny Galladay. I'm going to scroll down even a little bit farther. I don't think this guy will reach back to me. I got 1 minute left. I'm going to check out the quarterbacks real quick. We got Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Drew Brees. I think I'm liking what I'm seeing a little bit closer down to the end because I do have Lamar Jackson. You did take Dak Prescott. Kyler Murray went off the board. I am
about to auto pick.
I'm going to go Travis Kelce. I hate doing it, but I'm going to take Travis Kelce there. I don't typically like tight ends this early.
I believe we just published an article where you said don't fall into that trap.
I did. But this being a 10-team league, I think having that onesie position locked up with the top guy, I don't think you can really – it's not going to hurt me so bad with the other positions in a 10-teamer.
And I got to say, man, I'm not super high on Aaron Jones, but I think where you got him, Travis, was an absolute robbery.
Yeah, and I couldn't pass up on another – I couldn't go another round without a running back, so I need a running back one, at least one.
Yeah, to not draft a running back until the 3rd round and end up with Aaron Jones is pretty slick, I think. So, man, this run has started. Travis started the run. We got Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, Todd Gurley, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire before the next quarterback comes off the board with Russell Wilson.
Russell Real, son, and that's who I was looking at with the last pick in the round 3. I was kind of flirting with the idea of Allen Robinson. I was kind of hoping he would fall back to me. That's who I was debating, him or Travis Kelce. So I think that's a great pick right there at the end. He still does not have a quarterback, though.
Yep, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. But, man, there's still plenty of quarterbacks left on this board, so it might work out for him.
Yeah, maybe.
Nobody has 2 quarterbacks yet, so.
Yeah, so, Travis, you will be the next to pick out of the bunch of us. What are you hoping falls to you in this situation?
Well, I know damn well Kittle ain't going to fall that far down to me, but kind of just scrolling through here. But running backs are really starting to dry up. I feel like I need to get my second running back right now. So
Okay. Yeah. So far you got Patrick Mahomes, Julio Jones, and Aaron Jones. Nice balance to start your draft.
I think I'm gonna jump down and get Chris Carson here. It's a little bit of a gamble, but maybe I can wait on him. Maybe I can pick up a third running back here a little bit to kind of solidify just in case he's injured, or maybe even get a handcuff for him.
Okay. Are you concerned with him being able to start the season with that hip injury, or do you think he's going to play?
No, they keep saying he's right on track to start the season, so I'm gonna just keep going by with what I hear.
Yeah, that's all we can do right now. I am on the clock. I got Kamara, Lamar Jackson, and Travis Kelce. Like you said, the running backs are thinning out. Looking at James Conner, Juju Smith-Schuster, Amari Cooper is still here. DJ Moore is still here.
Woohoo! That boy DJ Moore.
I think even though I want to take a running back here, I cannot pass up the value here of Amari Cooper. I love what this offense is doing. I think that he's going to still receive 100 targets or 100 receptions, somewhere in that range. That's perfect. Fourth round guy, give him to me.
So for me, I've been looking at this draft board saying, man, I got to draft a running back next. And it's just like, but shit, Galladay's still there. Kittle's still there. Odell Beckham Jr. is still there. And then boom, all those guys go off the board. I'm taking a pretty big risk here, but I think there's some potential, and I think he's as high as a upside running back number 2 as you can get. I'm going to draft David Johnson.
Yeah. I glanced at him. All right, so how you guys feel so far overall about your teams?
I'm liking my team.
I love my team, man. I think I got 3 locked-in studs, and I think I got a really, really good gamble. So,
yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking overall. I feel like I obviously have the most balance with all of my picks. I have one of each position that will be started, and I got a top tier guy out of each position. I really love how this draft is falling to me. I'm going to take the value wherever I can see it, regardless of position. I think I got it here.
Damn it, Ben Kaiser is killing me. I was really, really hoping DJ Moore fell back to be there.
If you take a look at his team right now, he's got a monster of a team. Love it. I do not have a subscription to Zoom. Running out of time, we removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting. Thank you, Zoom. We need to look into getting that if we're going to be using this. We're currently looking into other options as well. Jordan, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking this is a hard pick, man. I feel like I should have another running back. I really like – how much time do I got right now?
Minute and a half.
Minute and 26. Okay, so he's not going to last to me. I think you're about to gobble him up, but I really want to go Ridley here. But again, I took a little bit of a gamble with my second running back. I'm going to double down on running back, and I'm going to draft Kareem Hunt, who I think could be an absolute PPR animal this year.
Okay, and you're absolutely right. If I can get Calvin Ridley as my wide receiver too, I'm all in on that. Juju's still here, but I'm going Calvin Ridley. There's no doubt.
I know.
I love him. He's gonna break out this year.
So since I stacked those other 2 running backs, I'm actually looking at Jonathan Taylor here. I think he could be a nice fill-in piece, just in case Chris Carson, just like I talked about earlier, if he's injured to start the season or maybe he gets banged up a few games down the road, maybe Jonathan Taylor will be ready by then. So I'm going to take my shot on Taylor here.
Okay.
I don't love the pick of Taylor and I don't love the pick of Carson, but I really love the 2 picks together. So I think that balanced out really well for your team, as you just kind of said.
Yeah, I mean it's the fifth round, so value is starting to diminish here. I think John,
Clayton with the steal of Juju.
yeah, for sure. I thought about him obviously, but all right, we got Jeff Beaver so far. He's got Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Todd Gurley, and George Kittle. He is on the clock, and we got about 7 picks left until Sumter is back up. What are you hoping falls to you coming in the next portion of this?
So my first guy I'm be looking at would be Robert Woods here. If he's not there, then I'm probably gonna go swing and get a tight end and get Mark Andrews if he's available.
Okay.
Well, he just went, so.
Yeah, Mark Andrews and Darren Waller were the third and fourth tight ends off of the board there, followed by Devin Singletary and 1, 2. Okay, you got 5 picks in front of you. Robert Woods is your clear number 1 here. I like that option. I think he's going to take a step forward in this draft or in this season with the departure of Brandon Cooks. He's already was a stud. He just wasn't scoring touchdowns. I think he will positively regress in that category. T.Y. Hilton.
And as you can see, people are still sleeping on him, and he's the number 1 player on everybody's board right now.
Yeah, for sure. I love him. So when a player on that draft board you're drafting from keeps getting skipped over, that means it's pretty much time to take that player in my eyes.
Yeah,
Most of the time.
See, and then there he is. So.
Yep, bingo.
Easy call.
Smash pick. I love it. Right here, I'm looking at a guy who I think is going to get about 280 touches. He's being picked over as well. David Montgomery. The ceiling is there. He was a super high sleeper last year. Everyone loved him coming out of college. He looked beautiful in the preseason. I think he goes ahead and he's going to bounce back to what we thought he was going to be last year. I'm getting him in the 6th round. Give me some David Montgomery.
Gotcha. I'm looking at my team, and I'm tempted to go running back again and just run that well dry for everybody else. But I'm at the tail end of the 6th round. I only have 1 wide receiver, and DJ Chark is still on the board. And I really like Chark's upside with Minshew, and I think he is the slam dunk pick at the end of the 6th year.
I like it. He is a stud in my eyes. But
A.J. Brown also on the board, and I did take a long look at him. DK Metcalf, Scary Terry, a lot of those, young wide receiver guys. But I think Chark is already the alpha dog on his team.
Yeah, I agree. So it's coming back to you in just a few picks. What are you looking at?
So I'm looking at those wide receivers I just said. I could have a nice, really good young core. Kind of looking at Cam Akers too. I think he has a ton of upside in this offense. I think he will ultimately be the bell cow for this team. Still not ready to punch it in on tight end. And there is one quarterback. I think I can wait just a little bit longer and have him as my QB2. So we'll see.
You're looking at Tom Brady.
I might be, baby. Top it too tight. Top it too tough.
All right, so we're waiting on Captain Kirk to make a selection. He picks Josh Allen. Ben Kaiser is on the board so far. He has Saquon, Austin Eckler, Kyler Murray, DJ Moore, Deshaun Watson. And last year, this time, he was showing me his teams, and I was just like, oh, man, you're doing it wrong. Here's how we do it. This is what we need to do. And I applaud him for coming such a far way because I really love his draft right now. And Mark Ingram, he just picks him. Super fucking steal for early in the season. I believe he's going to get off to a good start. And you're on the clock, Jordan.
Yep, it's back to me. I'm looking at it. I think there are better picks than this one right here, but I'm looking at the running back position. The number 1 guy left on the board is Cam Akers. After that, I feel like there's a pretty substantial drop. as far as wide receivers, there's Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Cortland Sutton, Hollywood Brown. There's still so many wide receivers. So I'm going to load up on running back. I'm going to take Akers.
Okay, I don't hate the pick. That gives you 4 total. You have 0 wide receivers, and this is a PPR. So what are you thinking here?
I have 2 wide receivers.
Do you? You do. You got Chark and Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill. I'm
Okay.
thinking my team's looking pretty damn good personally. I got the stud running back. I got a lot of good dart throws after it and some good chances. I got 2 really good receivers. I got Dak Prescott. I'm feeling pretty good, baby.
I think I like what you're doing here as well. I think it's time for me to start looking at quarterback again. So we got Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Stafford.
Cam and Newt.
I really like some of the later options, so I'm going to pivot back to that later. Checking out the running backs, we got Swift, Damian Williams, Geis, James White. It is getting super bare here.
And that's why I like having 4 running backs at this point in the draft.
I really like a lot of the wide receiver options here. I said it before, I'm going to go for value regardless of where it is. I'm going to pick Terry McLaurin. I really love him to really take a step forward this year in this offense, even with a bad quarterback play that he's played through.
Hell yeah. Absolutely, man. You're looking pretty stacked at wide receiver with Cooper Ridley and now Scary Terry. So I like what you did there.
All right, what you thinking, Sumter? Talk us through it.
I'm gonna go another wide receiver here, and I'm gonna go Jarvis Landry,
Okay.
PPR monster.
Yep.
Monster.
Super solid floor. I think he reached his ceiling last year with the touchdowns. That was the outlier season for him. It's not something typically what he's done in the past. I think he regresses back to the mean on touchdowns. However, very, very solid floor. You got Robert Woods and Jarvis Landry. Both provide you with an excellent floor. And you got high upside running backs as well. I like it. What you looking at, Jordan? Talk to me, baby.
Right now, at this point in my draft, I'm sitting with 4 running backs, so I feel pretty good there. So I'm now looking at the later running backs, putting 2 to 3, maybe 4 targets down that, like, once it gets down to those guys, I got to strike and get my last 1 or 2. But from here on out, it's quarterbacks and wide receivers.
Okay.
And I'll get a tight end eventually.
Yeah, you will, girl.
I'm kind of jealous. You guys got – oh, wait, no. Just Joey.
What?
Hold on. I'm going to look at the board. Yeah, Joey, you got a nice little tight end over there. Me and Sumter, we don't got one yet.
Yeah, it's okay. Like we talked about in the previous podcast, I will probably go ahead and publish this one before, just as a bonus, and release that tight end after. But right,
I hate you, Colt. Oh, man.
What
Cortland
happened?
Sutton and Tom Brady. That was literally the 2 guys I was targeting for my next 2 picks, so those hurt.
Ooh, look, here comes the quarterback run, baby.
Yep, and I'm on the fucking tail end of it.
I love it. You always do this in Superflex, and it always bites you in the ass. You did get Dak, so I think you're all right with that number 1 guy there. So usually you wait way too late, and then you're scrambling, and you grab 2 of them. But the rest of your team's absolutely loaded. So. So what we got going on coming up? What do we got coming up while we waiting on these picks to come back to us, Jordan?
Yeah, so are you talking about like us as the Truth Serum? Or are you talking about on this draft board, baby?
Truth Serum. We're waiting on a pick. Let's talk.
Truth Serum. We got all kinds of stuff coming up. We got our Patreon of the month giveaway, or monthly Patreon giveaway at the end of the month. Pick any full-size lid for the Hall of Famers. Pick any mini lid for the regular amazing still Patreons. Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now, and I'm not ready. It's a
Sumter,
lot harder to do these podcasts when you're drafting because I'm like pretty hyper focused on this and not on like what I'm saying. So whatever.
Sumter, what you thinking here? You pick next right after Clayton Crawford.
I think I'm gonna go another quarterback right here.
Okay. You got one specifically in mind that you're targeting?
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Baker Mayfield here.
Oh, don't do it to me, Sumter. Bayfield, I literally just queued him up.
And plus, I'm pairing him with Jarvis Landry, so make a nice little stack there.
All right, yeah. So what I was doing here is I was hoping that he would fall back to me. That was going to be my second quarterback target as well. You clearly have the best set of quarterbacks here. Do I take the gamble and hope one of these other guys get back to me, or do I just go ahead and lock it in? Before I make my mind up, I'm going to take a quick look at the wide receivers. Oh, I'm going Hollywood.
Damn. I was really hoping you would continue that run of quarterbacks, and I was going to say, well, I missed the run, so I'm going to load up on wide receiver here. So I'm looking at my team right now. Obviously, I am loaded at running back. I could use some help at receiver. I got Tyreek Hill and DJ Chark, so I like both of those. Man, I took the gamble on David Johnson. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it.
You better get Duke Johnson.
Fuck Duke Johnson.
Better do it. Talk us through your thoughts, man. Don't just sit there and stare at your fucking screen. What's wrong with you?
My thoughts are, do I really want to go down here with AJ Green? Do I really want to take this gamble and push all them chips in and say, fuck it, let's go with AJ Green this year?
I mean,
or do I want to take a more conservative approach?
We are in the 8th round here. So, like, what's your risk versus what's your reward? That's what you got to kind of balance.
Yep, I get it. But I also got to balance the risk of what if quarterbacks go off in these next 4 picks, and then I'm left with, the Ryan Tannehills of this world. But I'm going to do it. AJ Green, the upside is too great here, and I may never draft him again after this draft, but locked him in, wide receiver 3.
I don't hate it. So yeah, man, like the value is just in this range is incredible for wide receivers. We see it time and time again with our drafts here in 2020. I love it, man. I really do. So I don't like being risky in the beginning, but we're in the 8th round. So
I think all you got to do is worry about Kirk's next pick here too. Like I don't see Kaiser taking another quarterback here because he's already got 2 there.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, Kirk's got 1 quarterback. It will come back to him. I do believe if I were him, I'd be selecting a quarterback. And depending on who he takes, I might have to pick a quarterback as well.
So I think I'm going to try to hold off on quarterback again. I've got 7 of them queued up that I would be happy with, and I don't know if all 7 of them will go off the board before I pick again. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there are a couple nice picks. We're still in a good range of the draft where I look at the board and I'm like, okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. So, hell yeah. Kaiser goes with Devontae Parker. He's got some trust in there in me, I guess, because you absolutely hate Devontae Parker.
Yeah, I do. I mean, we'll see what happens. I hope you're right, and I hope he is everything that he was last year, but I don't buy it yet, man. I got to see it for 1 whole year.
So, Trav, how you feel about Devontae Parker?
He's burned me too many times.
Okay.
My man. Rob Gronkowski.
Gross.
I like it.
I don't. Do you like the Rob Gronkowski pick here?
I mean,
So, like you said earlier, with me taking AJ Green, man, take some risk here. I think Rob Gronkowski has a fucking enormous ceiling. He has a very, very low floor, but come on, man, let's take the gamble. He could potentially, I doubt he will, but he could be just as good as Kelsey or Kittle this year.
Yeah, I'd take my gamble a few rounds later for tight end, though.
Fair enough.
How Kirk taking so damn long? Kirk, what you doing, baby?
Looking at that ugly ass quarterback landscape.
Probably so. And he takes
Oh.
Edelman, leaving a whatever you want. I didn't see you mention any of those names, Jordan. What you got going on here?
I think I can wait on quarterback another round. I still have 7 that are queued up. The wide receivers are starting to look a little less sexy. The tight ends look a little less sexy. This is the point of the draft I hate because, like, there's just nobody that just sticks out and stands out. But I'm going to go ahead and draft one more wide receiver. I don't need him at the very beginning of the year. I think he has some potential to pop in the second half, especially and when he gets back from injury. I'm going to go ahead and get Deebo Samuel here.
Okay. I am now on the board. I'm going to go ahead and pick a quarterback. I'm going to start this other quarterback run, and you're going to be left with nothing. I do like some other fucking pieces I see, though. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get Cam Newton.
Okay. Cam Newton is the first of my 7 that were queued that's now off the board.
All right, so I think I have him ranked at 12. I do have Drew Brees higher than him, but I'd much rather have the rushing floor that I think Cam's going to provide. He looks healthy to me. We expect him to come into the season healthy. It's going to be him over Jarrett Stidham, I assure you. Rest all of your concerns on that.
You want to take what you thinking here, Trav?
I'm going to take another running back here. I'm just going to take Sony Michel here. Nice little filler piece.
Sony Michel, talk me through it.
I think I'm just going to take him just to kind of fill out that running back because, we only got, we got Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Jonathan Taylor. So I don't even need to start Sony. He's just my 4th guy out there. Just kind of like how you built your team with the 4 running backs. That's how I built mine. So,
yep, get ahead of it. I like it.
What do you think Sony Michel's overall ceiling is?
I worry about his rushing touchdowns. I don't really worry about his yards on the ground per se, like in between the 20s, but the rushing touchdowns, I just don't know if they're going to be there because I feel like Cam Newton's going to eat into those quite a bit.
Yeah, I hope he does, considering I just drafted Cam Newton. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. If they get in close, Cam Newton is going to get the rushing touchdowns. It's just what it is. He's the best goal line quarterback outside of Josh Allen in the NFL today.
So I am really shocked by Clayton Crawford's pick here. He takes Jerry Jeudy as the first rookie wide receiver off the board. I would expect the first rookie wide receiver off the board, especially from a dumb Eagles fan, to be Jalen Reagor. Just saying.
Who do you think the number 1 rookie wide receiver is going to be?
A lot of people, I think, have Justin Jefferson up there.
Okay.
That's probably who I'd go with.
I think he would probably slot in number 2. I had to look at those rankings, but I think I got him as the second right behind Jalen Reagor. I love Jalen Reagor. Pre-draft, I think I had him at 3. He slides into a perfect situation. I like him. Seems as if this draft is slowing down a little bit.
It gets a little bit harder here.
I want to edit the clock, make it a minute. Let's see if I can't do that. Talk while I do this.
Yeah, so for me on those rookie wide receivers, I hate the guy, but I think Jalen Rager just has the most massive ceiling because who else is there outside of Zach Ertz? Also, I can see, and I think he's a little bit less polished, but I think Brandon Ayuk is a guy who, especially with Debo being down early in the season, is probably going to get some targets as well. But I like what you said, Sumter, with Justin Jefferson for sure. I think he will step right in and get a good chunk of those vacated Diggs targets.
I know Colleen would love to hear that.
Yes, she would.
Yeah,
I didn't wear my Vikings jersey today. I wore my Fred Taylor throwback Jaguars jersey today. So sorry, Colleen.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the option here to change the draft settings once we started like it does on the slow drafts. So I guess we stuck with this 2-minute clock. And yeah, Rebel Son is definitely Mike Pinecker.
Yep. So we had Tyler Boyd, then we had our second rookie wide receiver, Henry Ruggs, the third go off the board, and then Deontay Johnson. Joey, talk to him about Deontay Johnson. You and Colt love that guy.
What's not to love? We're looking at a young.
Say it. Come on, say it, baby.
Antonio Brown-esque player. Okay, I love him.
Pussy.
What? I love him.
Esque.
Dude looks like Antonio Brown out there running routes, dude. Tell me I'm lying.
You lying.
Shut the fuck up. What do you think of a Deontay Johnson, Travis?
I don't know. We're gonna see. We got to see if Big Ben's arm's gonna be the same. See if he still got it. It could affect everybody on the Steelers. They could be just as bad as last year.
Yep.
It's a huge gamble.
Yeah. Every Steeler hinges on Big Ben's health, and man, that's just not a gamble I want to take.
Yeah, the last 6 games of the season last year, Big Ben's arm wasn't throwing the ball. He still was finishing as a top 20 consistently through the past few weeks of the season. I'm not sure which weeks, but I think he was a top 10 3 times over the last few weeks of the season. So a guy who I was looking at in the last round has fell to me. I am going to go J.K. Dobbins here. I think he's going to come in later in the season and just take over Mark Ingram's role and just be nasty. I love him here. 10th round, give him.
So here's the beautiful thing for me is I waited on that quarterback, and most of them are still on my board, so I still don't have to go quarterback here. I'm just going to go ahead, and I've seen this guy sitting on here for a while. You said it earlier. If he just stays on the board, you might want to draft him. Well, give me some Damian Williams, man. I think he's the perfect person to plug in here, especially with the David Johnson concerns and with some of the other running backs I have. I feel like he's somebody who absolutely will contribute at least early on. And then later down the season, he's the guy that I can kick to the side as I find a great waiver wire addition. So,
yeah, hell yeah. So you took Damian Williams. Why don't we talk through Captain Kirk's team here a little bit?
Okay. So, man, I think Captain Kirk has a very well-balanced team. He's got one of everything so far, at least. He still only has one quarterback like myself, so he actually might snipe me here. But I like what he's doing for the most part. I do have some concerns about the Godwin Evans, but I do like Kupp and Edelman as a 3 and a 4.
Okay.
What about you guys? What y'all think?
I think he's got the safest running back in the history of football outside of, LaDainian Tomlinson. He's got 2 very high upside wide receivers. he just took Jordan Howard. Very consistent, underrated pick here. I like that.
Jordan Howard, I said earlier, I was queuing up some running backs to draft later. Jordan Howard was absolutely the guy I was after, but Damian Williams just kind of fell into my lap, and I felt like his early season upside was too much.
Yeah. If Kirk does not select a quarterback in this next round, we're going to have a nice long chat with him. I think you and him have waited way too long.
I don't think so, and here's why. I've got Dak Prescott, so I'm locked in as my number one. And to me, the guys that I was looking at last round, something like motherfucker Jones is still on the board. Some early season Big Ben, let's go. Old man Rivers in Indianapolis, I like him. Kirk Cousins, not the sexiest play, but I'll take him as a QB2 streamer option. And then my boy Gardner Minshew still on the board as well. So I think there's some good quarterback value still left in this draft.
All right. Travis, you think he's fucking up too, don't you?
Maybe just a little bit.
Say it, baby. Say it. Come at me, man.
I know you're just waiting there for Gardner Minshew to come back to you here later in this draft. I just know it.
Actually, what it is I am looking at Gardner Minshew. I'm hoping to get Minshew as my 3. And really the guy that I wanted 3 rounds ago fell into my lap as my QB2. So Daniel motherfucker Jones all day. Let's go.
All right, cool.
Love the weapons.
I don't really look at bye weeks typically, except for quarterback position in a super flex. So I got one with a 6 and one with a bye week of 8. So I'm going to take a gander. It doesn't mean I'm committed. I'm never committed. But I'm going to take a quick look at these quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill, super gross. I'm going to not pick a quarterback. I'm taking a look. Give me some Will Fuller. This point in the draft, I'll take that gamble. I think he's the number 1 wide receiver on that team. I really like it. You took Jared Goff.
You don't golf, you don't get off, baby.
Yeah, I know he's got the same bye week as Baker Mayfield, but I'm taking him. I'm pairing him with my guy. Pairing with my guy Robbie Woods.
Let's talk about your team real quick. Your whole team as a whole. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I think I need a tight end here. I know that.
I need a tight end as well.
I got 5 starting running backs. I love that. QBs. I got Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff. We're not even talking about Patrick Mahomes here. He might even be a trade candidate for me. Like if I started the season off like this. Those 2.
like that.
Baker and Jared Goff on the bottom. I got a double stack going on with Robert Woods and Jarvis Landry. That is something that can win you a lead.
Yeah. If you pick the right weeks, you're absolutely right. Are you a guy we just got done talking about through our tight end rankings podcast? Are you a guy that would, bypass tight end throughout the entire draft and then maybe pick 2 flyers near the end and hope one of them pops?
So, I could go with 1 flyer. I could just go with whoever has the best week 1 matchup and then just pick somebody up the following week and just play the streaming game.
That's it, man. I love it.
But I don't necessarily avoid having a tight end on my team. I just would rather have the top 3. If they're not there, I'm just going to keep passing them up because it's so volatile with the other tight ends. You don't know what you're going to get out of them season to season.
Yeah.
Could not agree more.
Yeah, I also agree to a certain extent, but you got these every year. We got a new breakout tight end. The search for the breakout tight end. I like to double my chances near the end of my draft and maybe grab 2 late round flyers and hope that one of them turns into the Mark Andrews of 2019 or the George Kittle of 2018, something like that.
Well, one thing I really opened myself up to here coming around here is getting a tight end, and I could go Hooper here, or I could go Higbee here and pair them with Golf also and have even more onto my stack.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's still Hurst, Higbee, Henry, Cook, Fant, Hooper, Gesicki, Hawkinson, Jonnu Smith. There's so many, Blake Jarwin. There's so many starting tight ends left. Like, no need to rush them, baby. Just hold off.
Yeah. I just saw a value at the third round with, I think it was definitely the
Kelsey.
third round. Kelsey. I didn't really want to take him, but dude, I got that position locked up. I don't have to worry. So that's something I think I'm going to do a little bit more and not encourage to, our viewers, because I don't want to have, with having so many teams, it is hard to stream a lot of teams week in and week out. So,
But I also think it's important for our viewers to know that they're probably not going to be, fantasy football addicts to the degree that we are, where we have so many teams and so much going on in the fantasy world, man. I feel like most of the people that listen to us are going to have one or two teams here and there. And they need to know it's all right to hold off, baby. You ain't got to go in the early rounds and draft your tight end. You can get plenty of value late.
Yeah, I almost feel like during the season, it's a full-time job trying to manage, 10 or more teams.
Yeah. I think Colt absolutely just got a steal with Phillip Lindsay in round 12. He could be a starting running back if the Gordon experiment doesn't work out. And I think he'll get some love either way. Clayton Crawford finally drafts Jalen Reagor, you fake-ass Eagles fan.
all right. So what are you thinking here, Sumter? We got.
So I'm going to go with the guy that we were talking about earlier, and I'm going to pick up possibly the best wide receiver in this class. So.
Okay. Justin Jefferson. Hang on, let me see something. I'm going to take a look at my roster here. The people listening can't really see what I'm seeing, but I'm scrolling through.
We can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. If you want to see it, go to YouTube and find Truth Serum Football. You'll see this video. My entire starting roster is full. I like that. So I'm going to look here. I'm just going to find what is the best value after I see exactly. I got a minute left. At this point in the draft, I'm looking who has some upside here. I got an eye on somebody that I want to take. And typically this point in the draft, I'm not looking at ADP or ranks or whatever. I'm just kind of taking the guys who I want, not looking at any of that shit. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a guy who I think is going to break out this year. I'm taking all of Travis. I'm taking all your Bears, baby. Anthony Miller.
Oh, yeah.
How you feel about that pick?
Oh, man. I love that pick. He was big down the stretch last year. You know what? I was in a league last year, and I had Anthony Miller. I never played him a single game. All those 20-point games, I never played him a single game. Just kept him on that bench.
I didn't have any Anthony Miller last year, but in our super deep-ass True Serum Fan League last year, I had Taylor Gabriel. I picked him with like the 17th pick as super deep rosters. And that dude popped for me a couple times last year. So always got some love for old Taylor Gabriel. Now that it's back at my pick, I debated last round Daniel Jones or Old Man Rivers, and look who's still there, Old Man Rivers. Now I got 3 quarterbacks. Now I'm feeling really good about that position, and I've got some options.
Okay, yeah. I don't hate it because you got that top guy. I kind of overlooked that a little bit earlier, and I expect you to not do the right thing, but you did get Dak. I like your situation as well.
You expect me to not do the right thing?
Yeah, as far as drafting quarterbacks early in a super flex.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, if we were in a room full of, other analysts, I'm definitely increasing the value here. But since we're just playing draft with, you know, a bunch of just regular players, the popularity of Superflex is increasing. I think I'm used to how it works and everything. So analyst drafts, they're going to go way higher. So
Totally get it, but at the end of the day, I think it's the same principle, whether it's the 3rd round or the 10th round, man. As long as I get a shot at some quarterbacks that I really like, I'm never going to have Mahomes. I'm probably never going to have Dak Prescott. But, if I'm somebody like, I'm looking at Clayton over there with Carson Wentz and Drew Lock, I feel good about that. Looking at somebody like Pats for life, I'm guessing that's Steady Trevetti, but he's got old Matty Stats over there and he had somebody else. I feel good about that. So Kirk Cousins, I just don't think you have to rush them up to the top of your draft regardless of format. They are more important, though.
I do. I will forever argue you that as well. All right, so we got Ben Kaiser is on the board. He has selected Emmanuel Sanders. We're waiting on his next pick, Alexander Madison. He does not have Dalvin Cook. However, this is a year that crazy shit might happen, and we might be seeing some Alexander Madison unexpected, regardless of injury. COVID could strike. Captain Kirk selects Tyler Higbee. Jordan, you're on the clock, baby.
I am on the clock. I'm seeing a couple wide receivers I like here. I still feel like that tight end position is deep enough where I'm not forced to make that move just yet. Couple of guys that I would consider as like a late round flyer on running back. Ben Kaiser just selected Alexander Madison. Me personally, I would have went Tony Pollard there. I think not only does he have the same kind of ceiling if there's an injury or something crazy happens, but I think Pollard has a decent amount of standalone value here. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and I don't know what I'm going to do.
You didn't fucking figure it out.
I'm just going to end the quarterback. I'm going to draft my last quarterback of the day. I'm going to end with my boy Gardner Minshew. I got 4 of them back-to-back picks, and I'll fill it out with tight ends and wide receivers from here.
You motherfucker. I was trying to just get my 3rd quarterback here. I was going to get Gardner Minshew. Now you have left me with Ryan Tannehill, Garoppolo. You make me sick, bro.
I feel like I went from a weak quarterback standpoint to now I'm fucking loaded, baby. I love this team.
You're not
I wish
loaded.
we were playing it for real.
You're not loaded. You're just you got a lot of depth. I got no choice.
Loaded.
I'm forced into this pick. It is Ryan Tannehill. I don't want it. I would much rather be picking Minshew here or some guys over here in these other rankings, other positions. Like I see a lot of names that I would not mind having, but you forced my hand. It's Ryan Tannehill.
Loaded.
So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go Tavius Murray. He has his own standalone value as well as being a handcuff.
Yeah, I agree.
That old Mark Ingram role.
And I would have been looking at that if I hadn't been forced into taking a quarterback, because I do have Kamara. I'm not really that crazy about drafting handcuffs, but
if you're going to draft one, you got to have one that's going to produce too.
Right. Yeah, for sure. We got Colt Martin on the clock. Let's look at his team. What do we think he's going to do here? He's very, very top heavy at running back. I think he's got a lot of depth here. Flyers at Ooh. His hand was also forced.
Brandon, no, Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. Gross.
Mm-hmm. See, Jordan, this is kind of what I was talking about. When I was like, when we got all these real people in here, yeah, we get a better draft overall instead of having auto picks. But we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs, thinking of shit to talk about for the.
It's all good, baby. We can split it up into two if we need. If it's too long, let's talk about it. You should keep going through those teams like you were. Let's talk about some of these other guys.
All right, well, let's take a look here.
We looking at Mike Pineacker, what you call me?
Nope, we're looking at Colt Martin.
Colt 45.
Yeah.
I got to say, Colt Martin is one of my absolute favorite people to draft with. I think he has I just think he's brilliant when it comes to his draft strategies and the way he plays fantasy football. So always a pleasure. What do you think about this team, though?
Overall, I like it. I don't really love his wide receivers as a whole in a PPR, but we're also starting 3 flex as well outside of our super flex. So you can start a whole lot of wide receivers. So that being said, I think he lacks upside and depth at the wide receiver position. Overall, I don't hate his team. I could win with it.
I love Colt's team, and I love Colt's team because he went with that 0 wide receiver strategy up towards the top, back to back to back running backs, load up where it's hard to find the value throughout the season. He will be able to find some wide receiver pieces, I would imagine, in any format. And it's not like he has dogs, even though he waited. He still got Kenny Galladay, still has Cortland Sutton, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson. I really, really like Colt's team. I think it's one of the better ones on this board.
Okay. Travis, you're up next after Colt picks. What are you thinking here?
I'm going to go wide receiver. I just don't know which one right now. I want to go Preston Williams, or even Jamison Crowder, but
I think Jamison Crowder is a pretty good value here, even though I hate that guy.
yeah, he's kind of like that Parker, where he's burned you so many times,
Yep.
like you just kind of want to stay away from him. But last year he did show he was like a PPR monster,
So Jeff Beavers just said, I got $100 we throw this down on a real league. And Clayton's like, hell yeah, that covers buy-in for everyone. Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So have you made your pick yet? Let's see. You have not. Okay.
Man, Clayton Crawford drafted Darrell Henderson's broke ass. Darrell, however the hell you say. I hate that guy.
What's your thought process here, Travis?
I decided to go with Tony Pollard.
Okay,
Pollard.
I was looking at him. I was thinking about getting him right here in this situation. Fuck you.
Joey's got the unenviable position of being stuck between both of us. So as we talk this out, man, like it's just like, okay, I know Joey's going here, so I got to snatch here.
Yeah, it's not super fun, but I do see some players here that I would not mind having. However, if I'm looking at it as a whole, 2 guys draft after me two times. This is not something I would typically do. I want to build my own team, but these motherfuckers are going to be struggling struggling at quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and take Sam Darnold here. I don't love the pick as a whole, but I think I got some good streaming options for bye weeks on both sets here. So
Just make sure you wear a mask around that motherfucker because he'll give you something.
yeah, he will.
So for me, this is a slam dunk pick for me. I've been looking at him for the last 2 to 3 rounds, and he's still here on the board. Noah Fant is my starting tight end. I love him this year. He's in my top 10. I'll probably double down at some point, but easy smash play for me. I may even – so I've been looking at this tight end position, and I'm like, okay, I'm either going to get Noah Fant or I'm going to get TJ Hawkins, and now I think I'm about to double up on both if Ben or Captain Kirk doesn't snipe me.
Okay. Yeah, see, I forced Ben's hand into picking Derek Carr. Let's see what Kirk does.
Kirk's a gangster. He ain't even going to draft another quarterback. He don't give a shit.
That's all right.
Joe Burrow and Josh Allen.
Hell yeah. Week 9 and week 11. They do have separate bye weeks. So, and with a super flex, you can plug in a different position to that. But I'd rather take the worst quarterback option on a bye week than, the 30th best running back.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about bye weeks when you draft?
1.
1?
Very little, except for the quarterback position in a super flex. That's the only time I kind of look at that. That's it. What about you?
Me? Like a -7. Unless if I'm in a league like the True Serum Fam League last year where it's just like depth is so key. Like, man, you can always find a streamer for 1 week, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. And you did double up on both tight ends. Kind of implementing the strategy that I talked about a little bit earlier. I think I'm going to.
And plus, I did it in honor of my boy Mavs Trav, who's up there in Iowa. I'm going to take a couple of Iowa Hawkeyes back to back, baby. Let's go.
Right in you.
What are you thinking here, Joey?
I'm thinking a whole lot of things.
I just saw Chase Edmonds' name, and I remember last year when Casey tried like every day for like 2 weeks straight to trade me Chase Edmonds after he had those hot weeks. He was like, come on, he's next, baby.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick Jonnu Smith here. I think he is primed for a breakout. I do already have a tight end, but dude, Jonnu's primed and ready for a breakout.
Yep. I disagree. You will find that out on the next podcast. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, they're all dart throws. So,
how do you feel about Jonnu Smith, Travis?
I'm not really for sure on what he can actually do, but I do think the Tennessee Titans are going to be doing a lot more passing this year. They're not the game script isn't going to favor, what they're going to be able to do. They're not going to be able to keep just pounding the ball with Derrick Henry over and over like they did last year. You got to change it up and you got to be able to do something different.
Yeah, I view him as a young George Kittle esque type player. So I love him. He's great after the catch. Him and George Kittle were the only 2 tight ends to average over 5 yards per target after the catch. So he is a beast with the ball in his hands, and I really love him moving forward. He's ready for that breakout.
So there I went, Michael Pittman Jr., and I'm going to just tell you guys this right now. I don't leave a draft without him.
Yeah, I like it. I was looking at him as well. I think he's in the 15th round, dude. You got a flyer here. He's not even going to be your first drop candidate if he doesn't do anything week 1. In fact, you probably don't expect that. So, yeah, absolutely like it.
Well, it doesn't help that I wanted Jonnu there, but you sniped him from me.
All right, y'all talk. I'll be right back.
Damn, Jeff Beaver's drafting Deshaun Jackson. I missed some stuff. So, hey, Clayton Crawford, I love that you drafted my boy Blake Jarwin. I knew you were coming around to my Cowboys. I love that. Mike Pinnaker's in the chat room talking some mad trash about our teams, and I'm just over here like, man, you got Adam Thielen as your wide receiver one. Shut up. Love it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
who you thinking on this turn, man? Who you looking at now?
Shit, man. I mean, I'm gonna be stuck with Jerry Cook here. I gotta take a tight end eventually.
Yep, that's fair. Oh, you still don't have one?
No. Nope.
Man, hold out. Don't even draft one. Fuck it. A couple years ago, I don't know if you heard this podcast, but I started a fantasy football at my old job, a fantasy football league, and it was just a bunch of rookies, and I was like teaching them everything. And I was like, look, guys, you don't have to draft quarterback to the end of the draft, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like up in arms, like, no, that's crazy, yada, yada, yada. So I decided I was going to wait until the very last round and draft a quarterback. And man, that board was falling so good to me. And then right at the end, all those guys went in and just like sucked all of the quarterbacks off the draft board, right? And so I ended up drafting with my last pick, Jay Cutler, the year he was in Miami. And that was my QB1. And I was like, fuck, okay, this is going to be rough. Luckily for me, after week 2, one of the guys that overdrafted quarterback dropped Carson Wentz. That was his MVP season. I took him and ran wild with it. So hold it out, baby. You ain't got to get a tight end here at all.
Yeah, last year I did a same thing with, I got a lot of freaking of Lamar Jackson late, about 13th round, 12th round, and all that in different leagues. I just went late on that, and a lot of people like just drafting early. Like I just held out. The only one, my home league, I couldn't get him in though. The guy that we're in the home league with, he drafted Lamar in the 7th round, but that's only because he's a Ravens fan.
Yeah. Yeah, don't draft with your team. I don't care if you like them or not. Don't do it.
Another league I'm in, we got a keeper league here and down the street for me with a bunch of neighbors and stuff, and that's a little bit of money there, and like I get to keep Lamar next year for a 13th rounder. I also have Nick, and I also have Nick Chubb on that team for a 10th rounder. I won the championship last year for that.
Sounds like you're gonna win it again this year.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I already threw out the thing. I'm like Lamar Jackson to highest bidder.
I just want to say real quick, because Mike Pinacker's talking all that smack, but if you drafted Adam Thielen as your wide receiver 1, Ryan Miller would tell you, you done fucked up, son. Just saying, Pinnaker. Let's go.
I just had this argument on Twitter, and I just said about how he was probably the 4th best receiver in the division. So
yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, he's the number 1 receiver in the NFC North," and I'm like, "No." I was like Adams. I was like AR. I put AR and Galladay kind of even tilt, but then after that, Thielen's 4th. That's what
I could not agree more with that. 100%. You are absolutely right. Sorry, Colleen. I love you.
Travis, you gonna stop chatting, or are you gonna make a pick here? You got 30 seconds.
Oh, damn.
I'm up next, baby. Come on. Jared Cook.
Who you think of here, Mr. Fickle?
I don't know. I ain't thought about shit. Now I'm thinking.
Chase Edmonds, baby, looking good there.
Oh, I see the number 2 guy potentially in the number 1 offense in Sammy Watkins. I do need to start filling out my depth at wide receiver. Sammy Watkins has hurt me, and he's hurt me again, and he's hurt me again. But God dang it, I'm finna get him again. If he turns out to truly be the lizard man that he thinks he is, I just got a steal in the 16th round.
So I'm also looking at wide receiver here, and also kind of looking at tight end as well. Right now, I think the guy I'm going to go with had a down year last year, but I still think he could potentially be the number one option in his offense as well. It's a little late. It's a flyer, but hey, let's go for it. I'm going Golden Tate here,
All right.
especially
all
in a
right.
PPR.
Yeah. We're gonna save this draft board and we're gonna publish it, and we're gonna let the people decide who they think is got the best team here.
I think we should do it NCAA tournament style, baby. Input 1 versus 8 and 2 versus 7, so on and so forth, and let's get a champion, baby.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, you're just making it more difficult because now I gotta cut.
I'm just giving us more content is all I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
I know Joey's buzzwords. You just say content and he melts. He's like, oh, yeah, let's do that.
Hell yeah.
Like content, baby. I do.
Hell yeah. Rashad Perryman and T. Higgins both were wide receivers that I was looking at, and Ben just took them off the board.
Yeah, I was
Curtis-
as well.
What?
I was as well.
I'm going to take another. This is a total dart throw. He may not do anything, but man, I think he's got a lot of talent. Joey thinks he's got a lot of talent, and I think he will fill a very specific role. I'm going to dial up Paris Campbell right here in the 17th.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Did not scroll down far enough to see him apparently. Someone took Antonio Gibson. I was looking at in the last round as well. So I think I'm going to take a running back who I think is going to get a lot more than what everyone else thinks. Justin Jackson. I do not believe Austin Eckler is going to be the full-time guy. I think Justin Jackson will get a pretty significant role out of this offense that I don't think is going to be good as well. So either way, I'm going to take a flyer here on Justin Jackson and hope that he pans out as a good RB2 or a good running back 2 for his team.
Well, you know what they say, if you hope in one hand and shit in the other, on one hand you got Justin Jackson and on the other hand you got Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, bitch, we're in the 17th round right now.
Yeah, bitch.
Give me that treat. What you think?
And Mass Trav, if the Bears are going to go 3-13, don't say nothing. Oh, the lizard himself, Alan Lazard. Speaking of lizard men.
Taking the superior lizard.
Damn.
Oh, Clayton with the dagger through the heart, man. I love Denzel Mims this late.
I looked at him.
He's got a ton of rookie wide receivers.
Yeah, he's kind of a rookie fantasy player, so it makes sense. He sticks with his class.
Yeah, I got you.
I tell you what, man, Clayton's team would have tore it up last year in fantasy college football.
Yeah, definitely. Hang on just a second.
Greg
Olsen, man, he's another guy. People are sleeping on him, especially early in the season. I could see him popping and having a couple of good weeks with Russell Wilson. He loves his tight end, so.
Man, I was really hoping there was going to be a reunion in Chicago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Fuck, we got old ass Jimmy S. Graham. Fucking can't even barely walk.
I mean, man, y'all got tight ends for days.
Fuck yeah.
Y'all have more tight ends than Mike Pinnaker has mediocre football players on his fantasy mock draft right here. Coming for you, Pinnaker.
Good thing he co-owns teams.
Yeah, right. Chase Edmonds goes off the board for Jeff. I mean, I like that flyer. I like that dart throw. If Kenyon Drake is Kenyon Drake, he may not pan out. So Edmonds showed that if he's given the opportunity, he can go last year. Joey, you got some pussy on your shoulder, baby.
I do. I was thinking that if I went and got the meowing ass kitten, that it would be a lot easier, but I don't think it's gonna be. I think I'll let it down and let the German Shepherd eat it.
No kittens were harmed in the filming of this mock draft.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor, talk to me about it.
The schedule. That's all that it comes down to for Tyrod Taylor.
I think people forget that in limited opportunities, Tyrod Taylor has been a decent quarterback, man. He's not all world or anything, but I think he can win you a couple of games. I think he can win the Chargers a couple of games. I think he's kind of a sneaky good dart throw at this point in the draft.
Oh, it's my pick. It's my pick. Oh, look at here. Josh Kelly. So assuming that Justin Jackson isn't the second guy here, I will have the second guy here. So
Joey's just going to draft every damn Chargers running back and just hope one of them does something.
yeah, somebody got to do it.
So, again, late in draft, I'm just kind of looking to load up on wide receiver here. Hunter Renfrow, second-year guy. I think he has some upside to do something in this offense. So
He's got some upside to be your first drop come week 1 when you hit that waiver wire.
I bet I'll have him longer than you have Justin Jackson or Joshua Kelly.
Oh, no. Maybe. I mean, all of these guys here at the bottom are drop candidates anyway, so.
I'm gonna pick the ultimate drop candidate with my last pick. I got him coming up. I don't think Captain Kirk or Ben Kaiser is gonna do it, but I'm gonna pick Jameis Winston, man, because if old ass Drew Brees goes down with an injury, I got a locked in quarterback one. So he's gonna be my last pick of this draft.
Okay.
And then if I have to cut him after week 1, who cares? So what? Who cares?
So what? Who cares?
I had just picked up Jameis in the Scott Fishbowl as a late flyer, so he's probably the last quarterback off of anybody's board in there. So in my division, anyway.
I mean, man, we've seen what he can do, and we've seen what the Saints offense can do. So, like, I love it. Only thing that's standing in between Jameis Winston and being a fantasy quarterback one is a 77-year-old man who ain't going to start the whole season. So,
damn. So now I'm torn. I realize this is the last pick of the draft. We're looking at flyers here. I see a guy, Rashad Penny, but at the same time, I know that he's probably going to start out on the PUP list. If I'm frustrated, I'm going to end up dropping him. So Rashad Penny there, or I can take a flyer on a guy who I think has a huge touchdown potential in an offense that will score some points, and an offense that I think takes a step forward in the passing game. I'm going to go down here and select Miles Boykin. I believe he's going to be the second wide receiver in Baltimore. I like him better than Russell Gage and Devin Funchess. Steven Sims is intriguing here. James Washington's intriguing.
man, another wide receiver I took a long look at that I think you're overlooking here is John Ross, man. He popped a little bit last year, and I think he's still got the talent, man. I like him better than some of the other wide receivers at this point in the draft.
Yeah, I do as well. I'm going to go with Miles Boykin here with my last pick.
Boy can run.
That boy can run, and he can jump, and I think he's got the potential here. So, again, it's just a flyer, and that's what Travis is looking at here is a flyer. Who you thinking about?
In my second tight end.
Yeah.
Irv Smith. Yeah, I like him as well. I've talked about him as being a little bit of a breakout candidate as well. Doubling
down on that Minnesota receiving game because, what if Justin Jefferson ain't the number 2? Maybe it's Irv Smith that steps into that number 2 and, maybe gets the second most targets. And he had a lot of red zone targets last year, so we'll see what he can do here in 2020, especially this late.
I'm just kind of waiting to see who Mr. Irrelevant is with the very last pick in this draft, and we will close this bitch out. I'll save this, and we'll call it quits on this one. Dude, it was a pleasure having you on here. Real quick, how did you find us?
Originally? Oh, I think I was just going through Apple Podcasts and just looking for fantasy football shit to listen to, and then I think I just came across you guys. You guys were like one of the ones that I listened to when I originally started listening to podcasts. So
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite fucking answer, dude.
Ever, yeah. Were you listening back in the original days? Who was podcasting whenever you started listening?
So I didn't really start. I did a lot of the stuff on the internet, like kind of reading everybody's stuff, but it wasn't until actually early last summer that I started really listening to podcasts, and you guys were one of the names that I came across then.
Oh hell yeah. That's my favorite answer period ever. I love that. I'm assuming you found our Twitter handle through us telling verbally on the podcast.
I think that actually came about because I'm a lot involved with a lot of the fantasy football community on Twitter. So I think you guys actually just came about on Twitter just because everybody's kind of mentioning you or sharing your things, and I kind of see what you guys are doing, and kind of draws interest for me. So that's how I found you guys on Twitter.
Well, hell yeah. I had no idea who you were either until we found each other. I'm glad we did. You've been a great supporter of us, and it's greatly appreciated, man. And anything you need from us, we're here for you as well, man. Real talk.
Hey, man. Keep twiddling that tweet machine too, baby. Looks like D.D. Westbrook was the Mr. Irrelevant in this draft. Who are you guys most surprised didn't get drafted?
I don't know. Let's see. I can't see them players anymore, baby.
Oh, I can, man. Here's some ones there were a lot of wide receivers that did not get drafted. James Washington left on the board. Corey Davis.
Yeah.
Philip Dorsett. My boy John Ross.
Yeah.
I looked at Amendola there at the last pick just because, during bye weeks.
Oh.
Adrian Peterson, A.J. Dillon, Rashad Penny didn't get drafted. I know you looked at him, Joey.
Yeah. He didn't get drafted because of the PUP expectations. I don't expect, for him to come into the season healthy. So he will be a waiver wire target for sure. Rounds week 3-ish, 4-ish, maybe even. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with my team. I'm eager to see what, the fans think.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with my team. How do you feel about yours, Trav?
Oh, man, I wish I could start the season with it.
Well, it sounds like Jeff Beavers is buying us all a spot in this $100 tournament. So let's do it, baby.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Beavers. God, you're so generous.
Hell yeah. Before we close it out, guys, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at the Truth Serum FF. You can find us on Facebook, and where else we at? We patreon.com/the Truth Serum. Sign up, get in for them giveaways.
Hell yeah. And if you haven't already, hit us up on YouTube and ring that bell, baby.
Bang that bell.
Ring the bell.
Hell yeah. Come find our memorabilia group, TSF Memorabilia Slots. That's on Facebook as well. You can get in on some super dope shit for a chance, and it doesn't cost a whole lot unless you want it to. So anyway, that's going to close it out. Fucking holla at you.
As always.
Stay true.